Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about
1986's Slaughter High, directed by George Dugdale.
George Dugdale.
Uh-huh.
And Marty gets a 10 out of 10 for kills.
Ooh, tagline. I like that.
That's one of the taglines. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I had to pick one. And I figured the one that was kind of like our rating system was cool, so I went with that one.
Oh, I got one too, actually. Marty majored in cutting classmates.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into talking about cutting classmates, what would you like to let anyone new to the channel know, buddy?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty please.
You can also find us on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
Apple,
Mm-hmm.
Google,
Mm-hmm.
and Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Also on Instagram, J Square Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk all things horror. With this podcast, we'd like to open up lines of communication between all styles of fans, from new to old to somebody that hasn't even seen horror movies. And to ping off of the Instagram bio, in the link tree, you'll find two additional things that used to not be in there. One of those is www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You might ask yourself, why is that important? Well, if you want to contact us or be on an episode, if anybody has a movie that they've done or a movie that you've watched and you want us to cover, email us. You can click in there. You can subscribe. We'll send you out notifications when every new episode's released. As you know, it's on Thursdays. But it'd be cool to have a friendly little email reminder. Also, there is a code. If you click that code, it takes you to paranormalitymagazine.com. Paranormality Magazine is a magazine about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. They are an up-and-coming magazine that is helping us, an up-and-coming podcast. And if you use our code J2Horror at checkout, you will receive 10% off of your purchase. In the next 3 editions, our little ad is going to be there in there, which is super cool.
Yeah.
I got the proof of it the other day, and it's adorable. So, J, the number 2, horror at checkout, 10% off. And you will support us and them. So, Jake, Slaughterhouse High?
Slaughterhouse High rules.
Slaughterhouse High rules. Slaughter High is a perfect 1986 horror slasher.
It is. So immediately watching the movie, it gave me Friday the 13th vibes.
Did you know
As soon as it started.
that the composer for this movie is the composer from Friday the 13th?
Yeah, Harry Manfredini.
And a lot of the stuff that he used in Friday the 13th, he manipulated and used in this movie.
Yeah, you can hear it. And there's that one part where the guy has the hockey mask on.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the like super quick.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
loved it.
Also, a fun thing about this movie is it was originally supposed to be called what?
I do not know.
April Fool's Day.
Oh, really?
But, as you guys might know, an episode that we did quite a while ago, probably about a year ago
As
to
you
the
should
date,
know.
was April Fool's Day, also known as the Mutilator. So they got beat out by April Fool's Day to lose the title, and they had to go with Slaughter High.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I actually did some little fun research.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
The super funny thing about this movie is they have 37-year-olds playing high school students that then go back to school 10 years later as the same age as they were in the high school.
So my initial thought was when I saw the first female that we said, that's a teacher.
Yeah, that
Has to be.
It has to be a teacher just being a part of a bullying
Yeah,
scene.
she's in her mid-30s. There's no way she's not.
It is just uncomfy. to say the least, that these people are teenagers.
And you see the guy with like kind of receding hairline.
Yeah,
Like, dude,
yeah.
what is going on here? What kind of school is
The
this?
schooling was tough on kids in the 80s, man, because they look rough. Nowadays, you have, 18, 20-year-olds playing high school students, which is, it's understandable.
Yeah, it's not as bad as 35.
They were grown people. And it starts off with, so the whole thing about this movie is they're bullying this kid named Marty.
Yeah.
Marty's just a little nerd. He doesn't deserve any of this.
So to me, honestly, Marty seemed like just a normal guy who just was smart. 'Cause
Literally.
nothing about him seemed super nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he wanted to smoke later, like, dude, he seemed like just a normal dude.
He was trying to get laid in the bathroom with
Yeah.
a pretty girl.
Yeah. So when they asked him, what you doing here with no pants? I was like,
You already know.
I thought I was going to get some.
I was
So what do you
surprised
think?
that there is full frontal male nudity in this movie.
There is.
And I was like, oh, there's Pecker. You don't usually see those in
No,
movies.
you don't.
So it's just like, yeah, he's getting just a swirly. I haven't seen a swirly in a movie in quite some time.
And it was just interesting to me, the proximity between
The faces
the
and
faces
the
and
meat.
the,
Dude, I was thinking that exact because that camera angle just like butt and legs.
yeah.
And then it's just two dudes smiling like within inches of this dude's crotch. And like they look like grown men holding a little boy upside down.
Yeah, it was.
It's so gross.
It's a very strange sight.
And it's like that, just the extravagant amount of bullying they decided to do to the. You would have thought he like banged the quarterback's girlfriend. Like, what did he do? Because they're recording it. They have a battery shocking system on
Yeah.
the towel rack.
I thought to myself, this is a whole fucking production.
It's so elaborate. There's like 10 of them.
Yeah. You got the camera out.
Yeah, the camera.
Got the pole they're going to poke him with.
Yeah, dude,
Got things rigged up. Like, damn,
it was a lot.
they fucking hate this
They
kid.
don't like this kid for just being smarter than them. Like, that's it.
And he looked younger as well.
He did look appropriately aged.
He's the only real high schooler there.
Yeah, that's why he got picked on, because they're like, you're not 35. You're only 17. And then, so you get through that. They get caught by this gym teacher, because it's in the girls' locker room
Yeah.
where this all goes down. And then it's like he's like in a science room doing some random formulas by himself.
Yeah.
And one of the kids throws a brick through a window and is like, I'll go get him. And the gym teacher falls for that. And that
So that confused the shit out of me. Because it looked like, I don't know if he threw it through or he threw it and it broke and fell back down.
because he picked it right back up.
So we said to him, hey, someone threw this. Like, oh, really? Go
And
find
he was
them.
right there. The teacher wasn't across the
Yeah,
room.
he was right
He
there.
was like a foot away. And I'm like, how dumb is this teacher? He's probably looking at the 35-year-old female student,
Yeah.
because, hey,
They're in the same age group, roughly.
they're all right there in the same group. The old creepy gym teacher and all these quote-unquote students. So, yeah, he then goes and decides that he is going to mess with his stuff. And then, like, the joint, was it the joint that caused the fire? What exactly caused the fire?
So the joint caused like his stomach to feel weird, I think, because
Mhm.
they put something in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And him, I don't know, him not being able to be near the fire to turn it down. I don't know what actually caused it. I don't think the
Because,
joint
yeah,
caused
he
it,
runs
though.
to the bathroom, and that's when the guy goes in there and messes with stuff.
Yeah. He puts like,
Oh, he puts, like, some powder in one of the canisters, starts to bubble.
what was that?
I don't know.
My first thought was cocaine.
No, but it wasn't, because it
I
was,
know it
it was
wasn't,
like some
but-
type of, like, it was probably like peroxide or something. No, peroxide
type of-
liquid.
Some type of white powder,
Yeah, just
cause it to
cocaine.
bubble.
Just-
And the look of his face, like, his face looked like, this is not what's supposed to happen when
Yeah.
he do this.
I think that they handed him the wrong thing, and the actor just rolled with it. Like, I think the production crew screwed up, because he's like, oh, like, what is happening in this cup right now? And you're the one that's pouring it in
Yeah.
the cup, so it's
Just
like,
confused as fuck.
yeah. And then Marty comes back in, and obviously, like, stuff's going wrong. Stuff starts catching on fire, and then this big, he set it up there, so it was like some foreshadowing.
On like the
the
corner.
very corner of a very high shelf.
Nitric acid.
Nitric acid that falls and busts on his face
And turns him into Two-Face.
and yeah, he gets turned into Two-Face. I was
Yeah.
trying to think of his name. Dent.
Harvey
Harvey
Dent.
Dent. Yeah, and then so you hear screams and then an explosion, and everybody runs to the room, and he's just on fire, and they're all just like, "Oh no!"
And I think the funniest part, although it's not funny, the funniest part was there's like some pole on fire or like super hot in front of him.
Yeah, what was that?
No idea, but he like
Grabs it.
grabs it.
Ah!
Yeah, don't touch that.
It's glowing
Yeah.
red in front of. Maybe he was trying to get up.
You use the other part. That's
Yeah,
not
the
glowing
part that's not
red.
glowing red. And of course, his face looks all crazy, and they're all just standing there. And then you have this, I guess the nurses back then dressed like hospital people, or maybe it was hospital people. I'm not quite sure, but he gets strollered on out of there,
Mm-hmm.
and this girl is like, "We're sorry," I think, and he starts choking her, and then
Yeah.
she wakes up 10 years later,
And she's 35 years old.
She's her exact same age, but in the movie, it's 35 years later, and it was a nightmare.
'Cause my first thought was, how does this high school student have like her own fucking house?
Yeah, I was like, why is she in like a king-sized bed?
They didn't even change anything.
Nothing. She looks identical.
And she wore the same kind of clothes.
Yep. From high school to
I thought this is like
30 years old.
the next day? Later in the day?
Yeah, I thought it was like a couple days later.
Yeah.
Nope. It's 10 years later.
High school reunion time.
High school reunion time. So then you see that all the characters look like exactly the same, and they're all going to go to their high school reunion, which I didn't do. Did you?
I did not either.
No part of me would want. And I wasn't
Yeah.
a bully that could possibly get murdered.
I just wanted no part of it.
I was done with school when I got out of school. I didn't want to be
Yeah.
there when I was there. I don't want to go back.
Very true.
But also, I wasn't a bully, so I wouldn't have worried about going back to school, minus the fact that I didn't like most people I was around.
Well, it's so weird seeing people
I hide in grocery stores.
after that long.
I'll be like, huh. I'll start
Just-
looking at oatmeal.
What the fuck are we going to talk about? High school?
I hate when they try.
I don't want to.
Hey, Josh. I'm like, nope. Not
Hey,
me.
we should catch up sometime. No, we should not.
We should never.
You know we shouldn't do that.
We should never.
We're not going to.
Mm-mm. I think I only talked to like two-ish people.
I think it's 2 for me too.
Yeah, right around 2.
Yeah.
That were like normal.
Yeah, 2 is the max.
Yeah. That's the most you can do.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. And it's crazy because me and Jake went to high school like one school zone over
Yeah.
from each other. Had no idea who each other were. So you got the main bully guy driving a Beetle.
That is a real piece of shit.
I don't like him.
I don't like him either. He's probably the worst.
He's not the worst character we've ever talked about because I think Justin Long gets the icing on the cake for that.
He's not.
And
But in this
the
movie, he's the
Barbarian.
worst.
In this movie, he is the worst. Oh, my pen fell off. And he's driving a Beetle, which is a piece of shit. If anybody knew that had an older Beetle, I think they had a lot of issues. None of us should relate to this. And then there's like a girl that went to school hitchhiking right there, just so conveniently on a country road.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Some of the, the size of plot holes in this movie are roughly the Grand Canyon, because like some of this shit.
So what are the chances he took the scenic route?
Exactly, it's the scenic route. So why would somebody be hitchhiking on a scenic route?
Yeah.
You would be hitchhiking around main areas, because how did you get to the scenic route?
And you guys went to high school around there.
What?
So you know the area, roughly.
Yeah. It's a small town.
Yeah, why are you out there?
That made no sense. And he picks her up, and he's like, good thing I took the scenic route.
I thought, what?
I thought, she's the killer.
Yeah, that's my first thought.
She's the one. She's the one that orchestrated this whole thing.
But didn't it seem like he did?
It did.
Yeah.
Because that's what they lead with once they all. So I think, how many people? I can't. 1, 2, 3. I want to say 6.
6 or 8?
6 or 8.
Yeah.
Roughly around that
Yeah.
amount of people. And they all eventually get to the school, and they're like, it looks like it's been abandoned for 47 years.
Yeah, like they never went to school there.
Never. It's like Freddy Krueger, Elm Street.
It was.
like original fucking or not the remake when they start using the daycare and all that stuff. But it didn't add up. It's 10 years. Now I get that like shit can happen in 10 years, but this thing looks like
But the crazy thing is, it's been 10 years since they were in school, but you find out it's only been closed for 5 years.
Oh, that's right. They
Yeah.
did say it's only been closed. So it's been closed 5 years.
So it was a piece of shit for the entire time it was
But
open.
just the earth just took it back over because it's like it looked completely like just horrible.
Yeah, it did.
And they're like, "What is going? Why is nobody else here? It's just those group of
Yeah.
friends."
Yeah.
And that's when they assume that it was an inside job with one of the friends because they go inside. I think they like break in, and then you see a bunch of beers, some
Yeah.
food, some finger foods, and I'm
Yeah.
like, how is nobody noticing this as a red flag?
Yeah. So you get there, it's like, yeah, this isn't right.
It's really not. Nothing seems right about
We're
this.
the only group here.
It happens to be on like a stormy, of course.
Only our lockers are in here.
Yeah, and
Marty.
somebody moved the lockers of all those people in with their stuff still in it. Which, mind you, the school is completely run down. Has been shut down for 5 years. They've been out of school for 10 years, but their stuff is magically just in these lockers.
Did no one go to school after that?
It's like, what? This doesn't add up. And then, like he said, there's Marty's locker there.
Yeah.
And according to the stories that you're hearing, Marty's been in a loony bin
Yeah.
since it all happened. He went crazy, which makes sense. He got bullied into almost dying. I think most people would go crazy.
Yeah, the April Fool's thing. Like, that's a bit much.
Yeah, that was you this time.
All
It's
right.
not me.
That was your weekly throat burp.
Weekly throat burp. Yeah, it's the April Fools, and
Which I saw ends at noon.
yeah, they kept saying that in the movie, and I was like, "What April Fools rules?
So I had to look it up.
Is that a real rule?"
It's legit.
So
I've
April
never heard of
Fools
it.
is from midnight to 12. It's only 12 hours long.
Yeah.
Or is that part of April Fool's Day? Is that a joke?
No, so
It's like opposite day. Can opposite day really exist? Because then you can never say it's opposite
so
day.
if you sleep in late on April Fool's Day, you wake up at 10, you got 2 hours.
2 hours.
That's all you got.
2 hours to get your prank Sinatras
So
out.
if you do it after, you're considered like the April Fool.
I can handle that title.
I thought, dude, just till noon? That's a weird time to stop.
That was a very weird time to stop, but it was talked about a lot in this movie.
Like, almost like too much. I thought, this is made up. It's got to be.
So do you think that the Mutilator or Slaughter High should have been called April Fool's Day?
Slaughter High.
Slaughter High for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mutilator should have been called the Mutilator.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, April Fool's Day should have been called the Mutilator.
You think so?
Yeah, well, so this... I didn't think this was going to be as confusing as it is. This movie that we just watched should have been called April Fool's Day.
Got it.
The Mutilator, also known as April Fool's Day.
I
Should
thought
have
that was
stuck to.
Fall Break.
Fall Break. Wait, what am I saying?
The Mutilator?
Dude,
Fall
I
Break.
completely confused those up.
Okay.
Even at the beginning of the episode.
I didn't catch it then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I screwed up. I goofed. April Fool's Day, the movie we covered on around this time last year.
Yeah.
My bad. So forget what I said at the beginning of the episode. I'm a dum-dum.
Are the two related?
Nope.
Okay.
The only thing is that April Fool's Day should have been called April Fool's Day.
Should not have. Or
Not
should
my
have.
opinion.
Okay.
Jesus, that was... Oof. Hopefully you guys stick around for the rest of this episode. Dude,
They're
I just
cutting it
got
off.
so... Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they talking about?
How many movies did they just
April
mention?
Fool's Day, Mutilator, Slaughter High,
He's like, Fall Break?
Slaughterhouse Rules earlier.
Fall Break? Fall Break. Yeah, I goofed completely. Yeah, because April Fool's Day was just April Fool's Day. Shit.
Which is a good movie, though.
Mm.
For you guys.
It's so interesting. The reason I dislike that movie and then watching this movie.
Oh, yeah. It was crazy this couple days ago when you text me. So when you watch the ending, think of me.
Think of me.
I thought, oh, shit. I knew right then. Like,
Yeah, we won't get there quite yet. But if you know me, you know where this is heading. So you definitely have, and then the kids are like in the school and they run into the janitor,
yeah, who's now
who's
the
now
caretaker?
the caretaker.
Who makes that very clear.
He's like, "Yeah, I know janitor. I'm barely taking care of this school because it looks dilapidated." And so he,
Yeah, what the fuck are you taking care of?
I don't know, dude. The lockers and putting them in the room for Morty.
Lockers
For
around.
Marty.
Pour all the beer out.
Yeah. Where are the pigs and blanket? Where are the pigs and blanket? Yeah, he's the first kill.
Which I think is very random. that
Why was
he's
he the first
kill?
kill?
He had no problem with Marty.
I didn't think so. I'm like trying to replay the bullying. Did he like? Oh, he did walk past,
Oh, and he looked like 2 seconds.
and then he went and
kept
told.
walking.
But he went and told.
Did go and tell.
If it wasn't for him, he probably would have been dead earlier.
So you shouldn't have killed him.
Shouldn't have. Man, the thing that the kills they just kind of happen, man. And they're all very elaborate, to say the least.
Yeah, the kills are they're very interesting.
They're very interesting.
Yeah.
There's perfectly plumbed bathtubs that spew out chemicals. There's tractors.
There's a lot going on. I like the first kill.
The one I just mentioned?
Where the guy drinks the beer.
Oh, and his guts pop out.
Because it makes sense. He put
He put that same stuff in there, I think.
yeah, and like ate his insides pretty much.
It was cool though, because that actually looked kind of crazy. It looked like Alien.
Yeah, it did look good, which was very surprising when you see the other kills.
Yeah, jeez. The bathtub, the
that
one,
was the worst.
just oh my god, just get out of there, dude. Like the worst that happens is your legs are kind of
just
messed up.
use your upper body.
She
and
just
pull
had
yourself out.
no survival instincts. Like I
Yeah.
get it, being naked, you're a little vulnerable,
Yeah,
but I can get out of a vat of chemicals
immediately.
if that's what my bath. If my shower gets a little too cold,
Yeah, the
I'm out that
second
bitch quick.
it touches your skin, you're gonna hop out.
Yeah, I'm out.
You're not gonna lay there and splash around and throw your legs up.
Yeah, dude, it's just not gonna happen.
And when she
Like-
fell back,
And then she just disintegrates like immediately. It went from like a skin burn to just bones
like that.
in the matter of scream to people getting there. And I think they see it happen, which should have been way more traumatizing than it was to these group of kids.
Yeah, so that's why I thought when she saw the dude's stomach explode,
Yeah,
she
she
screamed,
did get blooded on.
and she was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
Yeah, they're all just kind of like, whoa, that PBR was pretty old, huh? Because, yeah, that's the reason she went to take a full bath.
Yeah,
Dude,
just wash
I'm
your fucking
sorry.
face.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if I get blood splatter on my face and my neck, I'm just going to take some paper towels and wipe it off. I'm not going to get
Yeah.
fully naked into a tub. It's a tub. I also don't know why this school had a bathtub
Yeah, that's weird.
in it. It wasn't a school. It wasn't one of the showers that we've already seen,
Yeah,
which would have made perfect sense.
just a random tub.
It was.
Like,
It
whose
was just
fucking house is this?
it was probably the janitor, caretaker's tub. That was supposed to be his kill. That's why you had to snag him. They changed the plans on him. But the thing is you don't know who's killing. You know who's killing, but you
Yeah.
do not know who's killing
Yeah, you don't see them yet.
for a very long time in this movie.
Which is,
Which
I think,
thought was cool.
I did too at first.
I don't mind it because I don't like when you know like you can guess because Marty's the only one that's not there, but
Sure.
you don't see him at all until the very end of the movie.
I don't know how you don't hear him though, because he's wearing
He's wearing bells.
Yeah.
He's wearing what is it? A
Jester
jester. Thank you. I almost said
with the
jack-
loudest bells possible.
They are loud because you hear him later on in the movie. Just
Yeah.
bing, 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 bing,
What, you guys didn't hear that at all? Walk through the hallways of school.
Like, what's that? Bing, bing, bing. But if you think about it, a lot of the kills that happened weren't Marty involved.
True.
They were like predestined kills.
Because
And then how did he know someone was going to take a bath? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
So the beer one I get.
the beer one is it's the best kill
Yeah.
because it fits perfectly into this. If
Yeah.
it would have all fallen into those categories, it would have been a damn near perfect 80s
Yeah.
slasher / murder movie, horror movie. I don't know why I said so many different descriptive words for that, but hey, we're here. And so, and then everything else is just what he has at his disposal. So, like, did he plan? He didn't plan enough? Did it just not go to plan? Was he in over his head?
Maybe he had just a couple.
He might have just had a couple and hoped he gotten a couple of them
Yeah.
and then scared them and then could pick them off one by one.
Yeah, because the caretaker, there was no plan of that.
No, he just grabs
He
him.
just ran into him.
Like, oh shit.
Gotta kill you.
I guess I guess you have to. Was he in costume at that point? Yeah, I don't think you see the killer.
Yeah, he was in that
He was in. Yeah, he was in the jester
fucking mask with the
with
bells
the
all over.
old
it.
lady, the old person face thing on it. What's your favorite kill in this movie?
The beer one.
So
That's my favorite kill.
I wish that was my favorite.
Oh, okay.
'Cause mine is the electrocution sex bed. That I was about to piss my pants laughing during that whole thing. So let me paint the picture for you guys.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it yet, we haven't mentioned it. It's free on Tubi. We love Tubi.
Good old Tubi.
We are not affiliated or sponsored by Tubi, but damn it, I love it. You get a couple of ads. It's completely free to use, and you can watch great horror classics like this one. So you have a lady who's about to get married, correct?
Yeah.
To the guy
Was she already married?
either married or about to get married
Yeah.
to the guy that is trying to fix the tractor to save everyone. He is probably one of the best characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he matured into like a decent human being. Well, his wife or girlfriend
Did not.
finds that opportunity to go bang another dude that she says she's already had a kid with.
Which I thought was this is
I'm just
a lot
like,
of plot shit going on
dude,
between them.
I'm like, the plot thickens in 3 minutes. And then they're like, bet, we're going to go upstairs and do the hanky-panky.
It doesn't work at first.
At first, there's some nerves, you know. It'd be like that. And then, well, once the chandelier starts rocking, don't come a knocking, because they are going at it like bunnies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she grabs the fucking bed frame behind her, and it's wired up for her. And then it's just like this, just screaming of death and electrocution, but everybody just assumes she's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
I was about to, just the way they filmed it, and like both of their bodies and he just falls off the bed.
It looked insane.
It looks so wild. And it's just overkill.
And after she dies, he goes, "She must really needed that."
It was intense, to say the least.
It was.
That was my favorite kill. Yours was the boring PBR belly.
Yeah, good
Beer.
old PBR.
PBR belly beers. I'll never drink another PBR. I'll tell you that right now. What's your least favorite kill?
The bathtub thing.
Yeah. I'd say when he hangs. Homeboy. The main bully.
Yeah, he died from that.
No, he fell. So I guess it wasn't a kill. An attempted kill.
Yeah.
My least favorite.
Well, he
attempted
dies
kill.
eventually, right?
He gets killed by the girl. Gets an axe to the face.
Well, you know, sometimes.
So people are realizing, oh, so the guy that was fixing the tractor, it
Yeah, what the fuck was that
turns
about?
on by Marty, and he sets the blades down on the guy's legs. But also he's like holding it up because he's strong. He's like a strong farmer boy. And he just slices his arm. Looks terrible. Looks so bad.
The first one looked terrible. The second one, he kind of got in there a little bit. That was good.
Yeah, but still. Then he just mows his legs. And he just looks like he's getting his feet tickled with blood spraying upward.
It looked like he was hanging upside down.
Yeah.
He just poured blood out by his feet. Just
Yeah.
ran to his face.
It just ran upwards. Which, I mean, I've never had my legs mowed before by a tractor.
Me then. That might be exactly how it is.
We might be the idiots in this one. So then the last remaining 3. So I think it's like 7 people.
Yeah.
So they're like that's when they decide, like, they basically figure it out who it is, because they're like, he's not gonna, it's April Fool's, like it's it.
Yeah. He has to stop at noon.
Yeah, he has to stop at noon, and then they decide to try to survive the night, but then they separate. Homeboy goes and gets hung. But the thing that irritated me is I think that he was supposed to be like the more glorious death, because he was like the worst one of it.
Yeah.
Because the other ones were just guilty of the first one. None of them were guilty of the second one. The only person that actually did that was the
him.
guy that got hung.
Yeah.
But he does it right over a table to where his tippy toes can figure it out.
Yeah. That makes no sense.
We have bathtub vats. We got sex electrocution beds.
Yeah.
We got tractors. We
Yeah.
got exploding belly beers. And then you barely hang a guy?
Yeah.
I mean, not to sound super morbid here, but up your game, dude. It's like the kills got lamer instead of better throughout the movie.
Yeah, they did.
Usually it's the opposite. Like maybe the first one's pretty epic. Then a couple of the middle ones will suck a little, which is fine because it's all part of the process. We know it as horror fans. This one just went downhill.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like the first one is the belly beer, which you're like, oh, this movie's about to be like legit.
Yeah.
And it goes from belly beer to bathtub. And you're like, oh, okay, they're going to the shitty ones real quick. And then you sprinkle in some of the other ones. Well, then the one girl runs outside. She falls in a miraculously dug hole with like, I'm guessing it's like a septic tank.
Yeah. I don't know
That's what my gut's telling me.
I was confused because when she touched that pipe,
It was hot.
sounded like it was hot,
Yeah.
but she wasn't reacting like that at all.
Yeah, she didn't go, but it was steaming.
She was just like climbing on. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
And then he's just like,
Like, nah.
get back,
Get back down there. I guess that kills
Funny,
her.
both of our
Yeah, we
feet did the same thing. But we look completely normal on camera. Then, the other girl, the main, the girl that woke up dreaming of getting choked, she is now in the epic chase of her life. Which another fun fact is, that's all filler.
Really?
The script was only for like 75 minutes or whatever. So the reason that chase is so long,
I wonder why it did.
is because they were just like,
This school can be so big.
they're like, we're just going for it. We're just going to have her running through the holes.
Send her out.
And you hear the bells, right?
Very loud.
Right? Because he's chasing you with bells. And he's got like a pokey stick thingy, like
Yeah.
a javelin stick,
Yeah.
I imagine. But then she hides. And this is when you get the actual kill of the bully. So he didn't even get that kill. It was her because she hears footsteps, no bells. And she grabbed an axe off the wall because, axes are readily accessible in high schools before the 90s, I think. There's no OSHA or like, I guess the fire department might need it when they get there.
Who knows?
She grabs it off the wall, which to me was a great survival instincts. Turns around, catches him in the face. She freaks out. And then they continually fight. Her and the other guy,
Yeah.
Marty. She does kick him through a window, which was inside of the school, like above the gymnasium.
Yeah, it was weird.
And then she just barely throws it because she gets a hold of the pokey stick.
Yeah.
And I thought she was about to send it through him. She just kind of
Little lob.
just barely gets that one on through there. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to survive here. My mind's going blank. How does this movie end?
So the chase continues somehow, and he corners her in the very shower the movie starts in.
That's right. Okay. Yeah.
And he gently pokes her a little bit. She
With the same pokey
bleeds
stick.
and just falls to the ground. And he asks her how she wants it.
That's right. How do you want it? And it was a terrible kill.
He really tapped her.
And it's just like a red circle on her tummy.
She just falls down.
The overacting in this
Like
movie
that.
is just almost unmatched.
Yeah, speaking of that, the dialogue is terrible in this movie.
What dialogue?
Like the quick
It's just-
scenes where it's just like two people talking, it's awful.
Painful. It's painfully awkward.
And the guy who's super strong,
Yeah.
he has a crazy deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of what he said, I couldn't really understand. One, two, this is a very dark movie as well.
Very, very dark.
So in that final chase scene where she goes into like a hallway and she sees him and starts running out, all I could see was her walk it and run out. I thought, what's in there?
You gotta adjust this brightness on your TV, man.
Every fucking scene you gotta adjust
You
that.
gotta, there we go. All right. Ooh, I can see the killer. Oh. Gotta adjust it back. A little too bright now. So he survives?
Yeah.
But, like, how does it end? Like, what's the end of the movie? I can't.
So this movie ends. We find out.
Oh, my God.
So like mentioned,
I legitimately deleted it from my head,
like
dude.
mentioned earlier in the movie, the dude's in the hospital.
That's called trauma.
Or the asylum. So he was there the entire time. This was all in his head.
Why?
Why was it in his head?
No. Why do they do this?
I don't know.
Do you think it's like the Friday the 13th kid jumping out of the water thing? Do you think that is like what sparked some of this shit?
In the hope it may lead to something else kind of thing?
Whether it leads to something else or like, I don't even know how to explain it. That's how much I hate it. Yeah, he's in the hospital screaming. And then he just jabs a doctor in the eye.
Yeah, so I took it as that was him laying down all this time, planning it all out.
And that's his escape to then go do it.
Yeah, maybe the 10 years coming up, he had it planned out. He's going to break out of here, get back to the school.
That's all hearsay.
Here we go.
It's all hearsay.
It is all hearsay, yeah.
I guess maybe it's because maybe in order to like get away with doing movies like this, you think that it's better if it's all like make believe.
I do not see how that would be better, though.
Because you're like, okay, kids, you see here, look, at the end of the movie, none of this really happened. You know, maybe it's like a family-friendly horror movie with full frontal nudity.
So I looked it up. April Fool's Day and this movie came out the same year.
God.
Like 7 months apart.
Hence the title thing that I confused you guys on earlier. I hate this. Jake knows it. That's why when we were kind of joking earlier, when I texted him, I was like, hey, have you watched it yet? He's like, no. I was like, well, when you watch the end, think of me, asshole. Because he knows that this legitimately gets under my skin with movies. A lot of times you'll hear me say that the ending of a movie dictates how the movie is. Now, with that being said, because I've seen April Fool's Day, the actual April Fool's Day, and I'm becoming more accustomed to this horrendous idea of horror, that I wasn't necessarily shocked that this is how the movie ended. Was I pissed? Yes. Did I waste almost 2 hours of my life? Absolutely. Did I still bring you guys decent content on it? I hope so. But why? It just doesn't make sense.
The only difference is in this movie, we get an actual kill at the end.
There are kills. There is a kill. And all these kills were at least in a dream sequence. It wasn't a game or a joke. A prank. This is why I still think April Fool's Day is lower than this movie on the totem poles of shitty horror films. But I will say that I did enjoy this one for some reason. Like I mentioned mentioned it outside to you when you got here. Movies like this make you appreciate horror, where it's come from, where it was at one point. The fact that we've just done an entire almost month of the newest horror movies, 2022.
Yeah.
And then we threw in an 86 in there, which we love 80s horror films.
Definitely do.
But it kind of gives you an appreciation because I have seen Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, why did I do it in that order? And I've seen them a quadrillion times.
Yeah.
There's nothing surprising about them anymore.
Not at all.
At all. Will I still watch them? All the time.
Yeah, of course.
Especially around October. Like, there's just like a whole vibe about it. But while I was watching this movie, Slaughter High, I was enjoying it. It was an 80s slasher movie that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
It brought me joy. Bad acting, shitty makeup, old-ass people playing as kids, over-exaggerated sex electrocution beds. Like, it's just what 80s horror was. And yeah, it's to an extreme, but it's so fun to get that.
Yeah.
Because now, like we've mentioned, it's very deep, and there's like, you can't pick apart this movie. There's no deeper meaning. There's no Twitters going off about the 8 different theories about Slaughter High. Sometimes you need a break from the brain movies.
You just watch it.
Because we've been on a kick of deeper movies.
Yeah.
And it's not taxing. It's hard to talk about because you feel like you might piss people off. So these 8, they just belong. They're special. Anybody that hasn't enjoyed some of them, go watch them, man. If you like horror, go enjoy them.
Yeah.
They're bad, but they're so good. They are so good. I got so much enjoyment out of this movie, regardless of the end, regardless of some of the shittier things. I enjoyed it.
Good.
I did. I wasn't that mad at you. Could have been a lot angrier. But if we had been like, if it was like April Fool's, Mutilator, dude, I would have fucking quit the podcast. I would have been done. So, but that's what's so cool about horror. It's been around for so long.
Yeah.
There's so many different styles and types, and I had a great time watching this movie.
Good.
So is there anything else you want to add to the movie side of this episode?
No.
With that being said, on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate Slaughter High?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say Slaughter High is a 6.5.
Jesus, that's entirely too high.
That's not too high.
Whew. My God.
What is your rating?
On a scale from 1 to 10,
Uh-huh.
I give Slaughter High a 4.7.
Ooh.
Yep.
So at least, okay, so 5 is at least like a decent average movie. This is less than average to you, but barely.
Barely.
Okay.
If it wasn't a fucking dream sequence, it would probably be like a 5.3, 5.4.
But still barely over average.
Barely over average.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's not enjoyable to watch.
It is.
Doesn't mean it's the worst movie in the world. But I take my rating seriously.
I do too.
You rated this higher than fucking what? Like so many good movies. I think Slaughterhouse Rules got lower than this one. I'll give you that. You fuck.
Somebody slaughter movies, man.
Something about these slaughter movies, man. That was fun. All right, thank you for putting me on this. Or I put you on the spot last week at the end of the episode.
You did.
And forced this, but I enjoyed it.
Good.
And hopefully you guys, if you decide to watch it or just listen to us on it, enjoy every bit of this. Now, next week, we've got something exciting.
We do.
It's a first for the J Squared Horror Podcast, minus the first 2 episodes. Nobody go back and watch those, please.
Please don't.
Please don't. They're terrible to listen to and really bad to watch.
No. They're awful.
So bad. We've come so far. Next week, we begin our dive into the Scream franchise.
Mm-hmm.
In preparation of Scream 6 coming out on March 10th. And March 10th is a very special day here at the J Squared Horror Podcast.
Yes, it is.
Jake's birthday.
Yep.
So, in order to prepare for not only Jake's birthday, but Scream 6, Scream Takes Manhattan.
Perfect name. Perfect name.
We are going to be doing a 2-part series. So we're going to do Scream 1 and 2 next week. Then we're going to do Scream 3 and 4 the following week. We've already covered last year's Scream. So there's no point in us doing a new episode on that.
Just go back and watch it.
Go back and watch it. But we are going to break each one up, or 2 of them up, into 2 different episodes because I feel like talking about all 4 might be a little too much.
Yeah.
Who knows? Next week we might just decide that it's all 4 of them.
Yeah.
But
All
right now,
4 at one time.
right now the plan is Scream 1 and 2 next week, and then Scream 3 and 4 the following. So we are gonna kind of ramp up and prepare for the new Scream. We're super excited to do that. It kind of prepares everybody for the new movie, and we haven't really, other than like theme episodes, we in the Scream 5. It'll be fun to get into the Scream franchise. It's a special one to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Wes Craven is a genius, and I'm super excited to talk about it.
Me too.
So make sure to tune in, guys, next week. Scream 1 and 2. In horror news, nothing too exciting. Russell Crowe is going to be in a movie called The Pope's Exorcist, which is supposed to be about this pope that did like 1,000 exorcisms and some crazy stuff. Looks pretty interesting. Also, I Am Legend is supposedly going to get a sequel with Will Smith surviving the first movie.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They said in the research that I did that the original ending for the movie, he does not die. He comes to terms with the fact that the monsters that he sees him as a monster, and somehow he survives.
Is that the ending we saw?
No, we
Then
saw he
who
grabbed a
gives a shit,
grenade
Yeah.
and blew it up.
Exactly.
Also, Michael B. Jordan is supposedly in talks of being in that as well, in an unknown role. Interesting thing about horror fans out there, a movie just came out called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and supposedly the director is getting death threats. You guys calm down a little bit, all right? It's just cinema. It's just movies. Who cares?
They're tarnishing the name of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, it's a kid story. Shut up. We're allowed to have fun now over here, and supposedly it's doing really good. It's considered a success.
That's good.
And then also there's a new spider, like arachnophobia style movie. I don't know if this is like he mentioned that there might be an arachnophobia sequel, but this movie's going to be called Sting. It looks pretty creepy. That's the horror news I found this week.
All right.
I tried my best. It's hard to find new horror news. There's not a lot of it, unless it's The Conjuring 6 or some shit,
Yeah.
which we briefly mentioned the last time we did
Yeah.
horror news. So thank you guys for tuning into the J Squared Horror Podcast. As always, we'd like to shout out our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music, Trademark Printing, who does our printing needs. He's working on a couple of fun things for us right now. If you comment down below, they'll get a free sticker shipped right
Put
to
me
you.
on the spot again.
Back-to-back weeks, buddy.
Dun, dun, dun.
It can be something simple.
Yeah, if you comment nitric acid,
Jesus.
that's simple.
Nitric acid, ladies and gentlemen.
Spelling does not matter.
Nope. We just put acid. I'll be okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nitric acid. Comment. YouTube. Instagram. Email us. www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can contact us there.
You always start speeding doors. It throws me off every time. I think the last episode you started to do that, and you said your name super quick, and I said my name super
Yeah,
quick.
that was 2 episodes ago. That was 2 episodes ago. I started going through it, and I was like, thank you guys for doing the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Jake.
You just follow suit very
did.
well. That's why you're one of the best co-hosts in the game. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And always remember, it's hip to be squared.